Hey, welcome to Easy Eats. My name is Lisa Burt and I am planning to make summer salsa. So the most important ingredients are when we eat it. So we're going to use the tortilla chips to do that and dip it in the bowl. Okay, so we have Roma Tomatoes, one of my favorites. I love these little guys. We also have a jalapeno, a little salt. We have cilantro, which is one of those things you either like it or you don't. One of my faves. This is good stuff. We also have garlic, zucchini, and we have a little onion and some lime juice. Yeah, it's gonna be really tasty. We're gonna start with the zucchini. All right, so I'm gonna start chopping some of these items, and we first have to start with, this recipe calls for these not to be skinned, so we're just gonna leave the green part on, and I'm gonna chop off the little top part there, and then I'm gonna go to the rear and I'm gonna chop that off too, okay? And then we're gonna use what's left to do our slicing and dicing. But again, what's really important is these knives are sharp, so you wanna try to keep your hands back like this so that you don't actually lose a finger. And so I will show you a trick that I've been working on all weekend because I knew that I was gonna do some chopping here now, but I'm gonna chop first. There we go. And then tell you what I was working on. So anyway, I was working on this trick. So if you were gonna, if you use the wrong knife, it could be dangerous. So be careful because you don't want to lose a finger. So now I gotta work on keeping these all the same size. So again, I'm putting my fingers back and then I'm just gonna give these a little slice like that. And because I want it all to be the same size. All right. And then I line these little guys up. This is one of my favorite parts because then I'm chopping through and I'm getting them cut. Here we go, just like that. I'm a little nervous today because cooking isn't necessarily something I do very often. So I usually order, and you know, sometimes it's nice to have a healthy thing that you cook yourself. And to be able to make salsa, this is one of the things I want to learn. So I am actually learning right now with you, and I'm scared to death. Meet Mr. Onion. He can get a little saucy, make your eyes cry. So you have to be careful with him. So I'm going to start by cutting off the little top, and that does help you get a little starter so you can finish getting this top layer off. And now we're gonna slice this guy into a lot of different pieces, and then we're gonna chop them up. So we're gonna be careful, keeping your hands where you can see them. All right, so I'm just gonna keep chopping them. And sometimes it's harder this way, so I'm gonna flatten them out in just a moment. Well, see, this is what I like to do at home. I cut a couple circles, and then I make some lines this way. Okay, and then I come back this way and just cut across. So it helps me keep things chopped. So if you don't cook at home a lot, sometimes chopping is probably one of the hardest things to remember how to do and to be careful with it and everything. So it's not something I do very often. Can you tell? So now we're gonna start chopping the cilantro, but I want to tell you a couple things about it. All right, so down at the bottom here, do you see this? This is the stem. This isn't something that you want in your salsa. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut that off and really focus on the leafy part. So let's start with making sure that all of this down here, I'm just gonna cut that off, okay? So I'm gonna start with just giving it a good cut. Now, if you notice, I switched to the bigger knife, and I'm trying to be careful here. I needed the bigger knife because when we're chopping, look at all this. When we're chopping it and we're trying to get it smaller, I need the bigger knife to be able to rock back and forth, I think. Or at least that's what I've heard. Someone said. All right, so now we're gonna try to chop some of this, okay? And I may take off a little more stem later, but we're gonna try to chop it up. And because I wanna make sure that I get some nice leafy parts, that I'm just balling it up. I'm gonna do this and move my hand back, and then I'm gonna start chopping here, okay? Wish me luck. I think, and remember And we're trying to keep our hands back. And do you see how like a lot of the leafy part comes off? So that part's good, okay? Then we're gonna keep chopping. Now we're gonna get to the chopping part. See a couple stems I need to get rid of. Now we're gonna chop this, because we need 3/4 of a cup, but I'm taking a cook's prerogative and I'm saying, this is like about 3/4 of a cup. All right, so now I'm gonna work on this chopping. So we're gonna try to rock back and forth like this. And we're gonna do it a different direction too, so that we can get this all chopped up. Okay, look, I chopped. I chopped all by myself. This is so beautiful. Wait, I just have a moment. I've chopped. It's so exciting. You know, I have had cilantro so many times, I've never been able to chop it. Thank you, everyone. You've been able to witness something that I've not been able to do before, but can do now. All right, I'm gonna add it to the bowl now. So next we're gonna tackle the garlic. And garlic's interesting because it's like an onion, it had this outer skin, okay? But what we really want is this meaty stuff right here. All right, so how do we get it out of there? I'm kind of wondering myself, but I think I have a way. All right, so I'm just gonna try to peel some of the paper back a little bit here. And I say paper, but it's really the skin. And these things inside here, do you see it right here? That's the garlic clove that we need. And so I'm gonna use my knife a little bit. I'm being careful here to peel it out. All right, I think I got that out. And so we need 3 of these cloves, but this has this fine paper on there. So I'll show you a little bit of trick. Hopefully I've learned it correctly. Now, when we're gonna get this last little paper off, we put this knife flat down and we push like this. Okay, I gotta push again. And the paper kind of crumples up and we're able to get the garlic out. And we're gonna need 3 of these cloves. Now we're gonna take our garlic, and again, we are going to chop it. And we wanna chop it, you know, small, because garlic can be kind of strong. So let's give that a shot. Now I'm using this big knife so I can rock it back and forth without touching much of the garlic I'm chopping. All right, if you were here, you would smell the garlic. It smells delicious. Although it smells like you would have to brush your teeth before you talk to people. Got a jalapeno here. Now these guys are spicy, or can be. It's funny because inside this little jalapeno, we've got some seeds. So if you like your food spicy, use the seeds, but be careful because you want to not make it too spicy. Not everybody likes spice. All right, so I'm gonna start. I'm gonna chop this little top off. All right, and if you see this right here, right underneath are the seeds. So I'm gonna slice it this way. And if you see there, my fingers are on both sides, but I'm gonna go right down the middle because I can feel the seeds in there. And I don't wanna make mine too spicy, and there's the seeds. So my job here is to get the seeds out. So now we're gonna chop. Alright, and I'm gonna chop these small because they're spicy. One more piece of this wonderful recipe is we're gonna put in these 5 tomatoes, but I gotta chop them. So let's get started. I'll put 2 on the board. I'm gonna use this bigger knife. I'm getting used to it. And with the tomato, you gotta cut off that little top. Looks like that's where the growing happens, right? All right, and so what I like to do with tomatoes, cut off that top part and then just slice down the middle. And now I've got them 2 flat pieces, right? And that helps me with my chopping. So again, I'm gonna try to keep those size. Remember the zucchini size. All right, so we've got our ingredients in the bowl and it's looking darn pretty. Now we have to do the last thing. So we need a 1/4 cup of lime juice. So I just have this handy dandy thing. This is 1/4 cup. And I'm going to pour lime juice right into this and squeezing it out. And we're gonna put the lime juice right on top. Okay, I'm just giving it a, there we go. There's our lime juice. And now, the next thing that we need to do, we have to add some salt, okay? And we are going to add half a teaspoon. You see TSP? Teaspoon. And we're gonna add half a teaspoon of salt. And we're gonna add it to the whole thing, okay? It's gonna help make the flavors tasty. So we're gonna just pour it in. Okay. There we go. I'm gonna just get a little salt around there. All right, now we've gotten that part done. Next thing we do, we mix. Now all the chopping that we've done, which was a lot, we're gonna now mix the ingredients together. We wanna see a little bit of everything throughout. We wanna see the different colors. Like look at the cilantro looking all happy. And then we have the zucchini coming up and they're looking thrilled. They're, nice to meet you, cilantro. Nice to meet you. And so everybody's meeting each other and mixing together. This is beautiful. Oh, the onion. Everybody's saying hello. After we get it all mixed, the next thing we're supposed to do is chill. Okay, I'm gonna stop and chill. Oh, wait, I think it meant put it in the refrigerator, but that's kind of silly. Why did you say put it in the refrigerator? Okay, so when they say chill on the recipe, they don't mean just hang out. Go ahead and put that in the recipe. Put it in the refrigerator. So thank you for joining me on Easy Eats. It's been a blast. I've learned a lot. I hope you enjoy your salsa. Thanks.
I haven't had any carbs in 11 days, so you
all right,
have no
squeeze
idea
all
how
in,
easily
guys.
You've been doing this.
The chip last?
Oh.
No, you get your own chip. I picked this one out for me because it's not a big mouther.
All right.
All right,
Because
I'll dig in and try it.
Delicious.
Oops. Lisa, push. There we go. Thanks.
Push the bus. That's good. Oh,
Very good.
nicely done. I'm
Right among
enjoying it.
cilantro.
Perfect amount of garlic. I like it.
Well,
Nicely done. Okay, we're done, right?
We're all done.